Has it? Has it been that long? Oh my gosh. I'm sure for all the helpers here, it feels like I've been gone an eternity. But it's good to be back and see everybody again. When I don't have my reading glasses on, I can see you. All of a sudden, everything goes fuzzy. So good morning and welcome. And I'm not sure if we have any new people, but it's lovely to have you here. And again, I'm Rev Tamara, and I'm the spiritual director at Center for Spiritual Living White Rock. I have to remember where I am. Oh my gosh. And good morning to all our Zoom community. You have practitioner Catherine online with you today. I think Catherine is, can you spotlight Catherine for us, Michael? As well. Oh, are they still in? Oh, they ended up, doing their meditation a little bit late. But that's all right. But I just want to take a moment and just breathe, because I think I need that. That in, that out, the slow, the steady. Knowing that there is one life, one love, one universal divine mind that is operating right here, right now. Today I know that I am one with that divine wisdom, that divine love, that divine joy that is ever present all the time. So as I know this for myself, I know it for each of one of you listening today, each one of you sitting in this room and out in our cyberspace. Today is that day that I claim the joy and love for each of us. In this time of turmoil, this time of challenges, time of upset, and yet it's also a time of great peace and grace and love. As I allow that to settle into my heart and know the truth of those words, I am so grateful for this community of coming together in support of each other, to support of our spiritual growth. So I allow these words to flow into that law of mind and let right action know that it is already happening, it is already so. I let it be and ask you to join me in saying, and so it is. So I'd also like to take a moment in gratitude for the honor and privilege of living, loving, and playing and learning on these unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples. And may this acknowledgement serve as a meaningful reminder that as CSL White Rock, our vision is to create a loving, vibrant world that works for all. We're committed to moving forward with understanding, compassion, and harmony as we journey together towards a brighter future. At CSL White Rock, we're based on the science of mind. It's a philosophy, a faith, and a way of life. And we have four main things that we always talk about here. That the first one is that there is one life. It is the source of all things. It is the source of all life. 2, we're a spirit having this human experience. 3, nothing outside of us needs to change in order for us to be happy. And 4, we're here to walk each other home. And I've seen that in spades in this community with people who step up and help others. So with that, I'd love to welcome our wonderful musician this morning, Nathen. It's so good to have you back.
Always great to be
here. Thank you, Nathen. I'll let you take us into song.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I heard one voice. Good morning, everyone. Hey, we're alive. Good. All right, here's a song that I know you've sung before, Right Here, Right Now by Michael Gott. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a brand new start. Right here, right now, listen unto me as I believe right here, right now, where I am. One more time. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a brand new start. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a change in my heart. Everything I need, I now receive, and listen unto me as I believe right here, right now, where I am. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a brand new start. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a change in my heart. Everything I need, I now receive, and listen unto me as I believe right here, right now, where I am. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a brand new start. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a change in my heart. Everything I need, I now receive, and listen unto me as I believe right here, right now, where I am. Right here, right here, right now, where I am. Right here, right now, where I am. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Am I okay for volume? My name is Diane Vachon, and I am a practitioner here. And I want to invite you after the service for a conversation with me and Jill. We're going to talk about something that begins with the letter P, capital P. That's all I'm going to say for now. You're invited to join us. It would be wonderful. Okay, meditation. So I'm going to read a few words from The Silence of the Heart, Paul Ferrini. And I invite you to be part of it. To breathe, the connection to our breath, connection to spirit within. Feeling the body relaxing, the mind quieting. So I want you first to imagine there is a white cloud hanging over your head. And pretend that you put everything that is in your mind that don't needs to be there for this moment. Your worries, your decision making, your anxiety, your feeling of running and running. Just put it in this beautiful white cloud. And watch the cloud floating away. Just being, just allowing these moments of quiet connection with spirit within. Your first block to your relationship with spirit is your knowledge and your pride. Surrender these, and you will make room for God's plan in your life. Giving up your agenda is the same thing as opening up to spirit. What is God's agenda? It is healing, reconciliation, joyful self-expression, and intimate communion. Presence within never leaves us. God's agenda is to make miracles everywhere. Wherever your ego sees a problem or a limit, God's will is to birth a miracle. God says, let's go of the past. Let's go of the past. And make room for something that honors you more deeply. We're afraid to let go of what is familiar. But we have to do it, welcoming newness, welcoming miracles. And the new cannot come in until the old is released. And that's where we need to do the work. Being aware that the old thinking and beliefs are still there, but willingness to let go and to surrender to God's will. And we breathe that in. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Allowing divine presence to be part of our everyday life, of our decision making. Allowing more joy and peace and wisdom. And we feel so good. To live our life from that place. So we bring a smile on our face. A smile in our heart. Welcoming this connection, communion within. Every moment, every day. And so it is. Namaste, everybody. Thank you. Nathen, thank you.
May I be loved, may I be held and celebrated, may my gifts be seen as sacred, may I live my fullest expression, may I live my fullest expression. May you be loved, may you be held and celebrated, may your gifts be seen as sacred, may you live your fullest expression, may you live your fullest expression. May we be loved, may we be held and celebrated, may our gifts be seen as sacred, may we live our fullest expression, may we live our fullest expression. Want to sing that with me? May I live. May I be loved. May I be loved. May I be held and celebrated. May my gifts be seen as sacred. May I live my fullest expression. May I live my fullest expression. May you be loved. May you be loved. May you be held and celebrated. May your gifts be seen as sacred. May you live your fullest expression. May you live your fullest expression. May we be loved. May we be loved. May we be held and celebrated. May our gifts be seen as sacred. May we live our fullest expression. May we live our fullest expression. May we live. May we live our fullest expression. fullest expression. May we live our fullest expression. Thanks for singing.
So beautiful. May we live our fullest expression.
That's one of mine.
That's one of yours. Oh, fabulous. I always love it when you do one of your originals. That's very good. And I know you live your fullest expression all over the place, doing so many things.
Can I tell you a few things?
Sure. Let's do it.
Just to this coming week, if you enjoyed that, this coming Saturday, I'll be part of a kirtan that's happening in, I guess it's the Point Grey area, so I don't know, maybe it's too much of a trek for all of you, but a fellow named Harrison Sito does a monthly kirtan, and he's invited me to be a part of it. I was part of it last month, and I am this month as well, probably the month after, anyway. And on a more exciting note, not that that's not exciting, but for you Beatle fans, any of you who saw the show at Unity of Vancouver back in July last year, we'll be doing it at a church in Ladner, so a little closer.
Okay.
February 22nd. So just go to my website, look on my calendar, February 22nd, and you'll find information on the Beatles night. And February 15th if you're interested in the kirtan night.
Excellent. Thank you, Nathan. Wow. I've been wanting to see that Beatles. I just haven't been able to get out. So I think that'll be very an opportunity. So there's so much going on this month, February, even this next week. Well, today, some of you may know, may not know, Super Bowl's happening. I bought my daughter a T-shirt. She's coming over today that says, "Go Taylor's boyfriend." For people, Taylor Swift dating one of the football guys. And then it was so strange. Tony was telling me about a friend of his who had 2 tickets for the Super Bowl, and they were box seats plus airfare and hotel accommodation. But he didn't realize when he bought them that it was the same day as his wedding. Yeah.
Wow.
So he can't go. So if you're interested and want to go instead of him, it's at St. Peter's Church. Her name is Donna. She'll be the one in the white dress. I thought that was just a little humor about Super Bowl. I know. So silly, right? Some men and their football. My husband happens to be one of them. But today we're talking about You Are Enough, the art of happiness. And so the art of happiness is the art of living deeply in the present moment with mindfulness and insight. We can free ourselves from restlessness and craving and realize we already have enough and we are enough to be content. So I was looking, obviously, we talked already about our 4 tenets, so of course this fits right in to the third one. Nothing outside of us needs to change for us to be happy. It's always an inside job, right? So it's when we are working and searching and trying to chase after something, that is when maybe some issues come up. We get attached to an outcome. We get attached to what we're chasing. And then guess what? We get what we're chasing, and then we decide we don't want it anymore. Or we want the next thing, and then the next thing. So when do we stop? When is it a chance to slow down enough to really realize what it is that we desire or that we are aching to have? And I think here in the science of mind, that is that connection with the divine. When we can connect with that innermost thing within us, that is bringing you peace and grace and joy. And it goes through different phases of our life of when we're moving into maybe or moving out of a phase. Maybe we're starting to be empty nesters and can't imagine where it is. Maybe we're just moving into retirement. Maybe our children are, I already said that, moving out. But there's all that, obviously that's in my mind, because I think my son actually just moved back home for a little bit. So it's like, when is he moving back out again? No, we'd love to have him back home. It's nice that he's home from Vernon. But it's these places that where I couldn't wait for him to be home. I couldn't wait for that next thing. And then, something changes and we get into a little bit like, Mom, you're being too controlling. Let me live my life. I'm a grown blankety blank man. Let me, And it's like, okay, I forget you're not 12. I forget that you're not in that place. So I've got to let go and surrender. And that's the place when I can be happy with his choices or whatever. I just have to, as Mel Robbins says, you just have to let them. Sometimes you just have to let them. And I'm just practicing that. And what I've noticed when I'm starting to practice that, I'm happier. And when I'm happier, I seem healthier. I eat better. There's just these changes in my physiology. Like I was just down in 3 weeks in Mexico. I was very happy. But right, and Liv said to me, did you lose weight? And I said, no, but I think just being there and being in a different environment and relaxing took down that stress level. I wasn't rushing. I wasn't chasing after anything. I'd let that all go. And it was such a demonstration for me while I was down there that even when we were down there, my husband, Tony, I think you knew, had to get some dental work. He had a root canal cleaned out and 2 wisdom teeth pulled. So we ended up having to stay another week. And I thought, oh my gosh, how is this going to work? Because I'm supposed to be back. I'm supposed to be speaking next Sunday. This is going to cause a lot of stress for everybody. And the next thing I know, I get a little text from Savannah. Hey, I'm going to be in Vancouver next weekend. Am I going to get to see you? And I'm like, oh, would you be willing to maybe speak? Yes. And then called WestJet to see, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to be hundreds of dollars to exchange our tickets, to change our flights. Oh, that'll only be $75 to change your flight. Oh, okay. And then we're like, okay, now we got to find a place to stay. That's going to be ridiculous. Then the lady that was in one of the condos we were staying at, because we go Airbnb, she goes, oh, a friend of mine just built a new 5 condo place, and she has a little studio available for $80 a night. I'm like, okay. Right? So everything lined up. So to me, that was such a demonstration of the power that the universe has my back. Right? That's what Savannah talked about last week. What if things are for me? And it gave me that extra week while my husband was going through surgery to journal, to take some time to work on my ministry, to do some things for myself rather than worrying about him I did worry about him. I just realized I'm not a very good nurse, but that's a whole other story. But it gave me an opportunity to take time, which is that self-care piece. And I've been struggling. I may have to get a hip replaced. And so walking was painful. Everything was painful. But while I was down there in the heat and the warmth, it's so much better. So I had another week of reprieve. But then you come home yesterday and went to North Van and looked at the beautiful mountains with the sun shining on them. It was a fabulous morning to express joy in the world that is there. And I love what Savannah is talked about, what if everything is for us? And it got me thinking about our relationship with the U.S. and our relationship with now, I know, please don't judge me, but I'm always curious and I listen to different things. Jordan Peterson about Canada becoming the 51st state. And he had some very interesting, I know. He didn't agree with it, but he had some very interesting comments that I thought, oh, that's fascinating is he said, you know, we always say we're that good friend. But how often do we throw our American partners under the bus? How often do we think, oh, we're not like them, we're more polite, we're more this, we're more that than our American partners? So is that really being a good friend? And I hadn't thought of it that way. And I'm not saying that I maybe like their politics or anything, but I'm just curious on how I can now look at the U.S. and support them. Because man, oh man, from what Savannah was saying, they're going through a really rough time down there. And so if we're a good friend, do we desert them in their hour of need? I don't know. I don't know if we do. So how can we support them in ways, though, that work for us? We definitely have to have our boundaries. We definitely have to, you know, stay strong in our life. But if we believe in this teaching, there is no separation. It's looking at each person through the eyes of God, knowing that they are love. Knowing that they are love. And those people that voted differently or wanted a different outcome, you know, supporting them, helping them, figuring out ways that we can do something here. And there may be small ways that we can do that. And I get buying Canadian, and I get all the things that people are talking about right now. And yet, does that harm our friends? Maybe. I don't know. I don't have the answer on that, but it's just been, since her talk last week, it's been percolating. And especially when I was down in Mexico, and Mexico is the same. You know, and it's really interesting. Remember, we've been going to Mexico quite a few years, but before we used to always take US dollars with us. It was so weird. We'd convert Canadian to US and then get down there and convert US to pesos. I don't know if that was true all the time, but just when we went. But now it's way better just to go from Canadian to pesos. And they don't really want the American dollar down there anymore right now. And I was very surprised. It was the area that we were in especially was, I'd say, 90% Canadian and maybe 10% US. So we didn't meet very many Americans while we were there, but we had some good chats with a few people that we did. So that's kind of a little side note that popped into my head, and I know those things happen to me every once in a while, but I thought it was worth mentioning because I think it's that important piece of happiness, of when can we choose to surrender, when can we choose to look at other people with love, when can we choose to be different and to show up different. Because really it's up to us. And the thing with happiness is I can choose to be happy at any moment. I can choose happiness with life and what's going on for me. Doesn't mean I have to, you know, happiness and happy, you think, oh, well, I'm not happy with the way things are going in the world. But doesn't mean that I can't experience happiness in my life. So, and I was reading Brené Brown today, and this morning I was looking up her definition of happiness and joy, because I like to we think of happiness and we're striving to get it. And what they're saying is actually happiness is a habit. It's actually a skill that we can get. But joy is that God quality that's innately in us. And Brené Brown shared a story of she went out for lunch with her daughter, Ellie, and they went on a paddle boat. And so her daughter, they were paddling around. It was a sunny day, and all of a sudden her daughter just stopped, closed her eyes, and just looked up at the sky and was just smiling and being, you know, sitting there. And Brené said, "Honey, are you okay?" And she said, "Yes, Mom, I'm just taking a memory picture." And she was experiencing that spiritual joy of life. She was just living in that moment. And that's the thing, when we're in the moment and in that place, that is when we can experience joy and love. But we can get caught up in all sorts of other ways of being. We see the world piece by piece as the sun, the moon, the animal, the tree, but the whole of these shining parts is the soul. From within, a light shines through us and makes us aware that we, the light, is all. That's Ralph Waldo Emerson. It makes us, from within, a light shines through us and makes us aware that we are the light, and that is all there is. So, what do we do with that? How do we experience that in our life? Because we know that happiness is an inside job. And it's that embracing our life, embracing the moments that we have, and letting go of the craving and the restlessness. And Ernest Holmes said, happiness is a habit, the habit of embracing all of who we are every moment. The art of happiness is, I already said that one. With mindfulness, concentration, and insight, we can free ourselves from feelings of, oh my goodness, let's just go home today. Oh, anyways, but he does talk about that in the art of living, that these feelings of restlessness and craving, we realize we already have more than enough to be happy. We already have more than enough to be happy. Again, nothing outside of us needs to change for us to be happy. And I was listening to a few different things. I was listening to a podcast by Rich Roll, and he had a Harvard professor on who wrote a book with Oprah Winfrey. And he said the bread and butter of happiness is basically three things. He described it as our food. You know, you either you have your protein, you have your carbs, you have your fat. So he said, but for happiness, it's enjoyment, satisfaction, and purpose. And then he said there's 4 pillars of happiness, which I thought was really interesting that he said the 4 pillars, because that's what we talk about too. He said the first one is family, second one is friendship, the third one is work, and the fourth one is faith. The fourth one is faith. And that is what we are here to do, to help support each other in our faith and know that life is for us. It's not against us. And, you know, a lot of times I can tell myself a story, and that story I can attach a meaning to, and then I can have an emotion with it, and then I react, or if I'm in really good space, I'll respond instead of react. Right? But that's the thing with life. It is the meaning that we make of the events in our life. And then we attach that emotion, and then it's like, does this make me happy or unhappy? Is this part of me that I want to be in, or is it something that I want to let go of? And that's the hard part, I know, for me sometimes, is letting go of things and making changes in life, of shifting the way I look at the world. And it's getting out of my own way sometimes, because I can really stop myself, because I'm right. This is the way it is. But am I? Maybe, maybe not. Right? So it is that knowing that happiness is that inside job, and that we can always choose a different thought, a different moment to be different. Right? It's every day we have opportunities. So when we finally grasp the thing, you know, that we're chasing after things, and the advertising companies out there, how many billions of dollars do they spend on thinking, if we just have that right cream, or if we have the right diet pill, then we'll be happy. And the thing is, that's not the truth. We have to look at what it is that makes us happy and find that purpose of what he talked about, of where we're when we're rather than seeking happiness, but it's the fulfillment. And when he talked about the satisfaction, has anybody had the experience of when something has been a challenge, but then you've overcome it and you've had that satisfaction of doing a really good job on something, or you've helped somebody, right? That brings up that happiness quotient in you. So it's that satisfaction piece that we get. And sometimes it's hard to hang on to that satisfaction because then we've got to maybe go on to that next thing. But then that goes into our purpose. What is it that we're here to do? I'm working off 2 screens today. It's very challenging. I should not have done that. So I think what we're wanting to know is that you are enough, that life is, that we are whole, perfect, and complete right here, right now. There is nothing different to do or to be or to say, but we get caught in that hook of everything. Just like that fish when he sees the little worm go on through and goes chomp, he doesn't know what's on the other side. And sometimes that can be our challenge, is getting that hook of getting part of thinking this is how we are. So what we need to do is set ourselves free and embody that wholeness. We have to combine mindfulness with insight. By being mindful, we become aware of our imagined, our ingrained, habitual way of living. We can stop, meditate. We can contemplate. And what can come up are those wounds and hurts that have created maybe that hole. But these wounds then can be healed. They're there to show us maybe they are again there for us. Perhaps your hook is being loved or feeling safe, and it's important for us to recognize these hurts and treat them with compassion, gentleness, and love. Right? It's like when we wake up in the morning, I don't know if you have this day, but I sometimes do, when I wake up and I'm just, oh my gosh, I'm so grumpy. And I announce it to the world that I'm grumpy. So my husband just gives me my coffee and moves away. But what if I were to just take that moment and love that grumpiness? What if I was to say that grumpiness is a gift? Maybe there's something inside of me, a little piece, that is wanting to be heard rather than, just being there with just that I'm grumpy for no reason. But there could be something underneath it. So it's when I take the time to journal and take that breath and contemplate on it and love that. And I find that the mood shifts easier than if I just ignore it and, okay, I'm just going to power through the day. I'll be fine. I won't snap at anybody, and that doesn't last very long. I'm spirit having a human experience. People trust me all over the place. So it's important to acknowledge and love all parts of ourselves. And then even the parts that we like, it's easy to love. But it's loving those parts of ourselves that we maybe don't love. If we reject parts of ourselves, we're denying our wholeness. And that's why it's important to remember that true happiness means acknowledging, guess what? We're complex. We can be messy human beings. Spiritual growth is not about getting rid of pieces of ourselves. It's about accepting all of who we are and loving it. Right? That's what, I don't know if any of you were here when Michelle Wadley was here talking a little bit about her forgiveness and shadow work. That's that piece. And that is what got me into ministry, is the main thing is I wanted people to remember the truth of who they were and that to fall back in love with themselves. Because there's so many people walking around who don't love themselves. And they're feeling hurt and upset. And if we can help them, how much better would the world be? but the work has to start with ourselves. It's always about the work, the practice. I wrote in the newsletter about a practice I've been doing this last month, that I wake up in the morning and in that first 5 minutes just lying in bed, just putting my hand on my heart and saying, today is a gift. Today is a gift. I don't know how it's going to unfold, what could come to me, what may go, but if I have that expectation that today is a gift, I think things are going to work out that way a little more than if I just get up and say I'm grumpy. Right? So it's working through those things. And so when we're learning to love all of our parts and knowing that it's a practice, and it's not a journey with a destination, means we have to get comfortable with all of our emotions, not just the ones we like, right? Because there's emotions that we have, the anger, the grief, the things that we deem as, I don't want to have those, but they're part of life. So if we can accept them and work with them, then that is how we get through it a little quicker. And especially when we're having health challenges, or, you have a friend who's hurting, that it seems harder and harder to do sometimes. But it's leaning back into prayer, into our meditation, calling a practitioner, talking to your minister or a friend or maybe a therapist, right? It doesn't have to be done alone. As the Buddhist saying goes, when there's no mud, there's no lotus. So, right, the lotus comes up through the mud. And that's each of us. Sometimes we've just got to knock it off a little bit, right? There's a few extra steps in there. But that is the main thing. We've got to keep working through the mud and loving ourselves every moment of the day. Because if we can love ourselves a little bit more, then that just spreads out to others. So I think it's remembering that we are free. We are free. And it is a choice that we can make every day. And knowing that I am free, I know that I am safe, I know that I am loved. Because how would the divine be any other way? The divine is there to be with us, to walk with us in that moment, in those times of need, in those times of sadness and grief and love. So when we can turn to that friend within and lean into our spiritual practice, that is the thing to do. And it is reaching out. And I've talked about support. I know we've talked about this before. How many people like giving support? Yeah. How many people like asking for support? Oh, there's way less hands coming up. All right, there's a couple out there. Right? Because we don't want to seem maybe weak, needy. Yeah, right? But the thing is, when we don't ask for the support that we need, or because something's coming up, we're actually robbing the person who's our friend of giving them that opportunity to help us. Because again, when we're being in service, that erases again that happiness quotient. That goes back to that pillar of purpose. What else do I want to tell you today? So it's remembering that you are already worthy of everything. You don't need to achieve more. You don't need to prove more. You don't need to acquire more. You are already whole. And it is in that moment that you recognize this, you become free of all those other desires and cravings out there. So it's letting that go. It's such a paradox in a way. It's that like, okay, so I know, but you can't do it from the place of wanting. It's really, you have to free yourself of the craving that something's out there. You realize you're that because the vibration and the wanting of a vibration. So if you're in that vibration of wanting something, then that vibration will match you. So when you're putting out that vibration of positiveness and letting go of abundance and joy and peace, that's when you get more abundance and joy and peace back. Seems very quiet in here. I don't know, maybe I've been away too long. I don't know. I think I'm starting to sweat a little. So the work begins when we dig deep. And the important work is the self-love and knowing our worth and wholeness. Because we are one with the one. And we can't know we're whole and perfect and complete and yet judge another. So that's going back to what I said earlier about looking at each person with love and joy. So I'm going to wrap it up with a story that Thich Nhat Hanh talks about in The Art of Living, about a young man who was in a psychiatric hospital because he believed that he was a grain of corn. A grain of corn. I know, right? A grain of corn. And every time he saw a chicken, he would run across the street as fast as he could. So he'd run across the yard and the buildings and the people, because he lived in a small, this is Thich Nhat Hanh, so it's a village, right? So there's chickens everywhere. So he went into this psychiatric home and they started to work with him, and they taught him that he realized that he thought he was a grain of corn. So throughout moments and practice and therapy, they had him practice, I am being human, until he was like, okay, I get it, I'm human. So then he said, he left, and the therapist said, we've succeeded, he got it, he knows who he is. So all is well. So when the doctor dismissed him, the man walked again through the yard, past the chickens, and he began to run as fast as he could away from the chickens. And the therapists are like, what happened? I thought you were cured. You know you're a human. You know that you're a humankind. Why are you running from the chickens? And the man says, I know that, but the chickens know that. I know. Well, started with a bad one, ended with a bad one. What the heck? And so, we don't have to do anything. I don't like to say that, because everything is a choice. And there's nothing that we need to do. And it's really, everything that we do is about loving ourselves, loving others, and connecting with our deep spiritual path that we are on. So grateful to wake up and know. And I would love for you all to say with me that know that I am safe. Repeat after me. I am safe. I am free. I am loved. Wow, you guys sounded really enthusiastic. No wonder I'm sweating up here. All right, well, with that, we'll take that into prayer. So being in this moment of love and joy, that life is happening right here, right now, in, through, and as each of us. So today I know that there is one mind, that universal mind, that wisdom, that love, that joy, that peace. It is all one thing. So as I take this time, knowing that I am free, I am safe, I am loved, and I consciously connect with that inner place. I know the truth of who I am. I know that I am whole, perfect, and complete, exactly as I am right here, right now. There is nothing outside of me that needs to change for me to be happy. It is all good. It is all God. So with great gratitude, I let these words go into that law of mind, knowing right action is happening. I let it be. I let it go. And ask you to join me in saying, and so it is. Thank you, everyone, for being, I guess getting back to work is a little harder than I thought. Thanks, Nathen. Gosh. I'll turn it over to Nathen.
How many of you are familiar with a song by Ricky Byers Beckwith called Holy, Holy Way? None of you. All right. Well, it's very much a call and response song. That's why I'm asking. So I'm just going to teach it. There's just two little melodies you need to know. So I sing. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. You sing, let me love in a holy, holy way. So the words may change a little, but there's only two little melodies. That's one. The other one is in the chorus. I sing, oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. You sing the same thing. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. So at first I'll sing my part and your part. And as you get the hang of it, I'm hoping that I can catch my breath and you can sing the other half. All right? Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me learn from all the ways I fall. Let me learn from all the ways I fall. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me share the good that's all around. Let me share the good that's all around. And let me care for those around the world. Let me care for those around the world. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Last time. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Beautiful. Good job, everybody.
Wow. Let me serve in a holy way.
Great song, eh?
Wow. I'm Sandy, and I am the board president here at CSL White Rock. And so Nathen The first time that I walked into CSL White Rock, you were playing. That was a few years ago. How many years have you been coming here?
That's a good question. When I started, Perry Dickinson was doing the music.
I remember him
I think
too.
Perry needed some Sundays off. So I think that's how that began. Yep. That's how
Cool.
long that's been. Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And it's always a joy. So, thank you. Perfect. So, I'm here to give you the announcements for what's happening in the month of March. And the first thing I want to tell you about is what's happening today. And practitioner Jill and Diane are going to be doing their Sunday conversations. This is every other Sunday that we're doing this, twice a month, I guess, really. Oh, the second Sunday, pardon me, the second Sunday of every month. They were right back there. And what I really like about these is about an hour of just very casual conversation about the laws and the principles of what's going on. And I'm not going to say anything about the P word, Diane. Nothing.
Peanut butter.
I have it right here, though, and I could share it, but I'm not going to. But they are going to be talking about how to use it and what it is, but I'm not saying what it is.
Peanut butter.
So it's also open to our Zoom participants. So just stay online, correct? Yeah, okay. Now, the next thing that's happening is actually with practitioner Liv, and that's on Tuesday, February 11th. And it's called Sacred Conversations. Very similar to what's going to be happening here just after service today. If you haven't had the opportunity to do that before, it's really kind of like a precious time to connect with other people and to explore some ideas and some thoughts. You can come online. It's all online, so it's not in person. You can go in your jammies. Nobody will know. And it's at 7 p.m. So you just register online to get the link for that. And next week on the 16th is our potluck. So remember to bring your favorite dish, or not. You can come anyway. And the following Sunday, I think, yes, the 23rd, is going to be the drumming. How many of you came to the drumming last time we had it? I did. It was fun, and it was especially great that he brought the drums, so I didn't have to come prepared. And it's for me, I'm not very coordinated, and so I figured I'll just try it out. And I didn't really expect to get anything out of it, to be perfectly honest, but I did, and I learned something, which was very cool. I'm not musical either, so it was good. I recommend it. And here's my personal big news, because I'm on the board, and we have an AGM coming up, and this is the first time that I've been this involved in planning and arranging the AGM. It's a bit overwhelming, but we're working through it. So it's going to be on March 30th, and before that, March 15th, we need to have all of our membership applications in. So whether you're currently a member or thinking about becoming a member, March 15th is the deadline. We will have applications available next Sunday. And you can, if you know right now that you're going to be remembering yourself, then please go online and find that link in the website. And I can help you find it if you need to. And any of the board members can help you do that. So I'd like to invite Judy Reed up. She's our board treasurer at the moment, and she'd like to tell you what being a member means to her.
Oh, okay. I came to CSL for I don't know how many years, and it was a pleasant place to warm the seat and listen to, nice words and everything and the music, and it didn't really go a whole lot deeper than that. So at some point I realized, it would really devastate me if this community fell apart, because we've really hit some hard times over the years, and especially with COVID. And I was very important to me to help be a sustainer of this community. So I joined the board, and became a member, and I definitely felt more engaged, and I learned a lot more. I started taking some courses and learning the principles, but most importantly, I started to understand how to apply them to my day-to-day life and the support of the community. And I have to say, there's something very recently, I'm not one of those people who reach out for help. I reached a very, very emotional, difficult time recently, and I was in despair. And I reached out to this community, and I felt such a sense of love and support that I highly recommend joining this wonderful group of people, learning how to support each other and give back and keep this wonderful place going. So please become a member. Oh, and Ray Lafamboise introduced me to CSL.
And for our last announcement, I'm going to ask Rev Tamara to come in and talk about her foundations course. And I have a question.
Yes.
The question is, how much homework is there? Can you cover? Can you please cover that?
It depends how much you want to do. Each class that we do, and I, it's coming up, and well, really, it's how do I want to say this? Well, this class I wanted to offer for a few reasons. Is that I know it is a long course. It's 8 weeks, and then there's 1 4-hour Saturday. But the thing is, it's the basics of the science of mind. And it is a opportunity to really learn about the principles. And it's such a way to understand prayer, meditation, our spiritual practices, and all the different principles that we talk about. And how I decided to offer this course on a priceless pricing, because I wanted people to take the class. It's about learning why we're here. It's about learning about applying these teachings every day in our life. I just spent the last way too long, probably 20 minutes there, talking about being happy. So the thing is, this teaching helps teach us how to be happier in our lives, how to apply these principles every day. And that is why I wanted to teach this class. And I know it's long. I know it may seem daunting, but the thing is, you're worth it. You're worth investing in yourself, each one of you. And I think that is the whole piece for me that was really, I haven't done this class for a long time. Well, it was one of our first classes we did when I did practitioner training. I don't even know if Terry called it this. We might have done something a little different. But I thought it would be just, especially with the new year, a new way, a time of being, that it would be a perfect opportunity. So I really highly recommend, if you want to jump in, You just have to pay the $50 registration fee. And if you get value from the course and you want to donate more, that's great. You know, let it speak for itself. But what I really want people to get is the foundation of this teaching, this philosophy, this way of life. So that's my soapbox, and I'll step off it now. And I'll yeah, well, and that's like Diane and Jill met in a class and became prayer partners how long ago? I won't say a bazillion. Over 10 years ago. And, you know, we've had prayer partners. It's where you get to know the people in the community at a different level, because you're all working through it. And I mean, I've quite a few here have taken classes, but if you haven't taken one, jump in, see what you think, and go from there. So now it's that time to say, be in gratitude for this loving community. And Judy, thank you. That was such a heartfelt commitment to becoming a member, because becoming a member isn't just voting at the AGM. It's a commitment to an ownership of this community, and that's what Judy talked about. The thought of, you know, this place not being here, how it would devastate some people. And so it's, you know, we want to keep that going. So in that, knowing that it's time to acknowledge our gratitude and our opportunity to participate in the spiritual practice of giving. You know what, we're a little late today. Why don't, today I'm going to do it a little different, Sandy and Ray. I'm just going to put the baskets at the back and people can drop their donation on the way out. Just because. Anyways. I'll just do that. We'll just leave it there. We'll put the baskets at the back. And please, but I'd like you to take, if you have a gift that you were going to get, that you're giving, or if you're a monthly donor, however it is, just place your hand to your heart. And as we do every week, know a specific good for yourself. And a specific good for this center. And a specific good for this world. And I ask you to repeat with me the affirmation that's going to be up there in a second. This gift I give is spirit in action. I give it in joy. I give it in love. I give it with a completely open heart and mind. I know that I've received a lot with great gratitude. And there is abundance for everyone. So thank you. So sorry, you don't need to, we won't do the song in between there. But I will now have everybody stand up. And we'll say our closing affirmation. Something wonderful is happening in me right now.
Something wonderful is happening in me right now.
It's this thing called life. It's this thing called love. It's this thing called freedom. I know it. I feel it. I express it. I am it. And so it is.
So it is.
And thank you, everyone. I'll turn it over to Nathan.
Let there be singing and dancing. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. And I'm free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release, I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let
Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Ooh. Thank you, Nathan. So just so you know, Diane and Jill will be doing the session afterwards, but Liv is available for prayer. And if you don't get to talk to Liv today here in person, you can also send a message on our prayer support channel. And Catherine is going to be doing prayer online. So if you could just message her, she'll break you into a breakout. She'll break you into a breakout room. She'll put you into a breakout room and do prayer with you online. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and we will enjoy Super Bowl and the workshop. Thanks.